Today is Sunday, the 18th of February, 2018. I'm Keith Warr, and welcome to another episode of Homeless in Titusville. And today I'm being joined by, what is your name, sir?
Don Cupid.
Don Cupid.
Yep.
And Don, how old are you?
57.
You're 57 years old. And where are you from originally? Where were you born?
Sweden.
You were born in Sweden. Wow. Do you know where in Sweden?
No. I was born there.
Okay. And so you were adopted by...
Floridian.
Okay. And was your dad, was he in the military or something?
In the military.
Okay. Was he in the Air Force, the Army, or...
I do not know what part. I know he was in the military then.
And he was probably somewhere in Europe, Germany or something when they adopted you?
He was here.
So they were here in Florida when you were adopted?
Nice.
Wow, that's interesting. Had you ever thought about what life might have been like for you had you grown up in Sweden?
I couldn't be there because I find out that I'd be in prison right now.
Okay.
Because I fuck up. I mean, me myself, when I fuck up, I fuck up. I mean.
And what are we talking about? Are we talking breaking major laws and crimes? No.
Just dumb shit.
It's dumb stuff. And how about being in trouble with the police and what? Have you ever been convicted of a felony or?
That's why I was convicted of a felony.
Okay. And for what kind of stuff? Were you stealing? Were you robbing? You're stealing. And were you stealing out of greed or were you stealing out of necessity?
Stealing because I had to.
Because you had to live and to eat and to survive daily on the street.
Yeah.
And about when would you say the last time you were arrested for stealing something to survive?
About 5 years ago.
5 years ago. Okay. So what is it like being homeless on the streets of Titusville? Do you feel that people show you respect and they're nice to you, or no, you don't? How do people usually treat you?
They don't usually say a word. They just keep going. Yeah.
So they ignore you?
Yeah.
I mean, because it's pretty obvious that you're homeless. I mean, I recognize that you were homeless immediately. Do you feel most people are kind of afraid of you because you're homeless? Do you think they have assumptions?
I don't know. I say, because me, myself, I look at you and I say, if you know I'm homeless, come and talk to me. You don't know, then come and talk to me anyway. So,
Right, because you're a decent human being. You're just like anybody else. Just the difference is you don't have a home.
Right.
Yeah. So, so what do you do to feed yourself? What do you receive food stamps? Do you work odd jobs? Do you get Social Security disability?
I get nothing.
Nothing.
Nothing from nobody.
So how are you surviving?
It's not easy.
What kind of stuff would you say you generally eat?
Me? Fast food.
Fast food. Do you panhandle, or do you take food out of the garbage?
I panhandle. Yeah. What I do is I sit around and I say, do you have $1? Do you have $1? Do you have $1? You give me $1, I say thank you.
Yeah. How about some of the realities of being homeless? Have you ever eaten out of a dumpster or garbage can, or no? Okay. Well, that's good.
I had to.
Well, some guys do though.
Yeah,
some guys are that desperate, and they have to do what they have to do to survive. How about things like going over to the Salvation Army because they have a couple of feedings a day sometimes? No. And why not?
Because I don't believe in it.
What do you mean you don't believe in it?
I don't believe in it. The whole thing they try to do, I still don't believe in it. I do not go there because I say that they do that because they have to. And for me, because I'm homeless, doesn't mean I go there. I say fuck
right, that. Right. Well, and I get that. What about things like doing laundry and showering and bathing and stuff like that? How do you do those things, or get haircuts, or?
How do I do that? I sit here and I come over and I say, "Can I get a haircut?" And they say, "Yeah." They say no. So
who are we talking that you usually ask for a haircut?
People come out here and set up at night.
Oh, okay.
And it's Monday they come out. and they
So
set
Monday,
up.
you're talking about one of the church groups that come out here on a regular basis, like Under the Bridge Ministries and things like
Right,
that.
that's it. It's under the bridge.
Yeah.
Where I got to go.
Is that where you get most of your help, is from Under the Bridge Ministries? Yeah. Those are a great group of people.
I know. It's a great group because that group of people, they understand, because I'm homeless. I mean,
Right,
I have nowhere to go,
right.
and they understand that you may not have anywhere to go, but we still going to give you help.
They're not judging you. They're still treating you like a human
Right.
being. That's what I try to do. I try to have respect for people and treat you like a human being, regardless of what your situation is.
Right.
In my interviews, I don't belittle people. I don't make fun of them. It's just not something I believe in. It's just not something that I'm comfortable with. What was your life like before you were homeless? Like, what kind of a job did you work?
I used to do construction,
Construction.
and the construction I did was all electrical. All electrical because that's what I know. Anything you got, and you bring a wire and say, this wire doesn't work, why? And I'll test it and see.
Are you a certified electrician, or no, you're not? Were you ever in business for yourself? Were you ever a subcontractor? Or, So you always worked for someone else? Yeah. And what about, tell me, explain to me how you went from having a job, doing electrical work, to finally ending up homeless. Like, did you get laid off? Did you get fired? Did you walk away from it? Like, how did you lose your job? How did things steadily go down?
I do not know.
You don't know?
I still don't know. I mean,
So it just seemed to kind of happen to you?
It happens. I mean, when it happens, it happens. I say,
Were you, before you became homeless, were you renting a home, or did you own a home? So you were renting, you didn't own a home?
I do not rent.
Well, where were you living when you were working years ago?
I was at a home, but my home wasn't there.
Okay. Did you own a car?
No.
No. So have you ever owned a car?
No.
Never. Have you ever had a driver's license?
No.
Wow, so you've never had a driver's license. So tell me a little bit about growing up. Did you grow up here in Florida?
Oh, yeah.
You did. And where did you grow up? Did you grow up here in Titusville, Brevard County? Orlando area is where you grew up. And you said you went to, I think, Lyman High School, you told me?
Lyman High School.
Okay. But you didn't graduate. You went there, but you didn't graduate
I didn't
from high school.
graduate, so what I do, I went to school, and I made it till the 10th grade, and after that I go to prison.
And what did you go to prison for?
I don't know.
You don't
I do not know.
That seems very curious to me, how you could, but you did say have you ever had a brain injury? Have you ever been hit in the head, or?
No, my head I have a dent right here. I don't know how I got that.
Yeah, you do. You do have quite a big dent there in your head. Have you always had memory problems, or?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. And what have you been diagnosed with? Do you know, or do you remember?
No.
No. And how about your health? Are you pretty healthy? Or?
Oh, I'm healthy.
So you don't have blood pressure?
No.
Blood pressure issues? You
Nope.
never had a heart attack? You're not diabetic? You don't have liver problems?
Nope.
Do you drink?
I used to, but I had to quit.
You had to quit. Okay. So you're not an alcoholic, or are you? No. Okay. And how about any other substances? Do you smoke marijuana? Yeah. So now and again you smoke a little
Now and again I smoke, but what I do, I smoke a little bit, and I quit. Smoke a little bit and quit. Smoke a little bit and quit.
Right. Sounds reasonable. Most people, attitudes have changed towards marijuana. As you know, it passed a couple of, almost 2 years ago now. 71% of Floridians voted for at least the medical use of marijuana.
Yeah. Well, see, with me, it ain't medical. When I smoke it, I say I'm going to smoke a joint.
So it's recreation. You're
Right.
doing it for fun or pass the time or whatever. Do you do it because, I would imagine being homeless, that it's got to be quite boring. I mean, there's just endless times just to kind of stare at, I don't know, the sky or the
Sit there and
birds
say,
or.
what's up?
So do you fish? Do you fish to pass the time? Do you draw? Are you an artist? Do you sing?
I do. I do a lot of artwork.
You do. And what do you do? Do you do paintings? Do you do chalk? What kind of stuff do you do?
I take pencil.
Pencil and paper. And what kind of stuff do you draw? Are you abstract art? Do you do portraits of people?
No, I just abstract.
Okay.
Whatever I see, I draw.
Okay. Do you have any of that artwork that you could show me later on? No. Okay. Have you ever sold any of your artwork?
No.
No. Do you think you would ever consider doing it for a living?
No.
No. So it's just for you. It's for
Just
fun.
for me.
Okay. Do you like being homeless?
I don't like it, but I still got to deal with it. I mean, me, myself, because to like it, I like it. I don't like it.
I know, but the reason I'm asking is because I'm asking you certain things about jobs and stuff, and most of the time, you have to have some kind of a job or something to be able to afford to live somewhere. And I'm just wondering, are you willing to do some of the things like, get a job or whatever to have a
I can
place?
do that to do it, but with me, I say, I don't know.
You don't know.
If I knew, I knew, but I just don't know.
Do you feel like you've kind of been homeless for so long that it almost seems normal? It seems
like what I got to do. I mean,
right. Yeah. And I think a lot of people don't understand that it becomes normal. Just like when somebody's in jail for 30 years, they become institutionalized.
Right.
They accept living there, and they know nothing else, and they're afraid to kind of make a change.
right.
Do you think you're a little bit afraid to make a change to
No,
not be homeless?
Me, myself, if I couldn't be homeless, I would not be homeless. And that's with me. Because me, myself, I look at it like I have to be this way because it's the way I
It's just the way things are, right? How about your family? Are your parents, the people that adopted you, are they still living?
Oh, yeah.
They are. And where do they live?
One's here in Florida and there's another one's in Texas.
Okay. And how about them? Do they know that you're homeless? They do. And what do they say about your homelessness?
They don't care.
They don't. So they didn't offer any kind of help or nothing whatsoever. And how about brothers and sisters? Do you have any adopted brothers and sisters, or did those people have any biological children?
They had one, my sister was all biological. Me and my brother were adopted.
And where was your brother from? Was he?
I do not know.
Oh, really? You don't know? Okay. And are they both living? And do they know you're homeless too?
Yeah.
And they offer no help whatsoever.
No.
And where do they live?
One's in Texas and one's here.
Wow, so just like your parents. Okay. Wow. When's the last time you have seen your parents or talked to them?
About 7 years ago.
Wow, that's a long time. And what was the reason? Did somebody die, or
No,
just getting together? Was it
Yeah.
like for a holiday, for somebody's birthday or Christmas, or?
I don't know when it was. I just know we all got together and say, yay!
Okay. How was your life growing up? Did they treat you well? Yeah, but were you a good kid growing up?
No.
No,
I
you
wasn't
weren't.
good. I wasn't good. That's one thing I wasn't. If I was good, I was good, but
So what kind of stuff were you doing? Were you drinking, smoking, staying out late, breaking into cars? What kind of trouble were you into? No, not that kind of stuff.
no.
What kind of how were you bad? What kind of stuff were you doing? Talking back? You didn't clean your room? You didn't do the dishes? What was?
I do not know what it was.
You don't know. Okay. That seems to be a recurring theme that you have, some problems with your memory. How has that made things harder on the streets? Do you lose things a lot? Do you forget? Like, for instance, do you have an picture ID, or no, you don't? Have you ever had one? No. Wow. So what do you do when you go to apply for some kind of help? Like, have you ever applied for food stamps? No? You've never applied for food stamps? You would be eligible.
I know.
You would probably get almost $200 a month to feed yourself.
Me, myself, I don't do that.
Wow. I mean, in some ways, I respect that decision, because you are relying on your own way of making it instead of relying on the government.
Right.
But in other ways, I say, that's kind of crazy because, you're making life so much harder.
Yeah, well, see, with me, I do it because I have to, not because I want to, because I have to, And, people say, why? Why? Because that's just where I am.
Right. How about a family of your own, for instance? Do you have any children? No. Have you ever been married? You have. And how old were you when you got married?
18.
18. And how long did it last?
1 year.
1 year. Wow. So that was 30 years ago. 30 years ago that you were married. Wow. And how about her? Did she remarry and have children, or you don't even really know?
If I knew, I knew, but...
Yeah. Right. Wow. What are some of your daily realities here? Like, where do you sleep, for instance? Do you sleep out in the open? Do you have a tent? Do you have a sleeping bag?
I sleep. Where I sleep at is here, but it's, I go to this one place, I sleep, I get up and run.
Okay. Yeah, I don't want to go into detail of where you're at because I don't want anybody to think, that they can just drop in on you, because you're a human being, not a circus act. What do you think will lead to you getting off the street? Like, do you think you'll ever get off the streets, or do you think you'll be homeless forever?
I do not know.
You don't know?
I do not know.
I don't know. What do you think it would take for you to get off the streets? Have you ever thought about that? Like, do you think it would take intervention from a government agency or a church or getting a job or winning the lottery or, you know what I mean? Like, nah. But seriously, in your mind, like, how do you...
In my mind, I think that if I won the lottery, I'd win the lottery. But that wouldn't get me off the street, because I'd still be on the street. Everywhere I go, I'm on the street. Even in life today, I'm on the street.
So this has become such a normal for you that you really cannot imagine life any other way. I think that's hard for a lot of people to comprehend. But I think hanging around with as many people that I have, being homeless, I do understand that thinking and how you could become deinstitutionalized, as it were, So what about things like, obviously we're here in Florida and the weather's not horrible. We don't have snow. We don't have snow to deal with.
You don't have snow, but...
Right, but it does get cold sometimes.
It gets cold. When it gets cold here, it's cold. I mean, it's not... And it's not north's cold, it's all south. And everything south is, when it gets cold here, it gets cold.
And how do you deal with the cold? Do you have a lot of clothing? Do you have a lot of blankets? Well, I see you're wearing, let's see, a shirt, then a sweatshirt jacket, then another. Oh, you got two okay, you got a shirt, you got a flannel shirt, another shirt on top of that, a sweatshirt, and then some kind of leather jacket, and then this blue one on top of it. So you've got, and then what, those are gloves in the pockets for your hands. Wow. And how about as far as the things that you own? Is this about all your clothes? The clothes that you have on right now, is this everything?
I got more in that bag.
But that's just a small backpack that children would take to school. So you don't really have that much, Where do you usually get your clothes from?
places around. I go up and I say, do you have clothes?
So like
give
a
me-
thrift
they-
store or somewhere, or one of the churches, and they donate you a jacket or a pair of shoes or something? Okay. Wow. How about getting sick? When's the last time that you had seen a doctor, that you needed a doctor's care?
I don't know.
You don't know. Have you ever visited the emergency room or no? So you've been pretty lucky. You've never like cut your hand on something or,
Oh, I cut
You
my
know.
hand, I cut my hand.
but I mean enough to like need major stitches or surgery or something like that. Wow. So, is there anything that you think that I haven't asked, that I should have asked, that we should know about your situation?
No.
No. So I pretty much covered
Yes, you covered it all.
everything. Okay. Wow. Do you have any messages for any of your family or friends or anyone who sees this? Is there
Yeah.
anything you'd like them to know? You want to go ahead and look into the camera and
Get
tell
me
your...
off the street.
And who is that message to
To
specifically?
anybody. To anybody that hears it, get me off the street.
Wow. Pretty powerful. Do you have a phone? Do you have a way we could contact you? You don't. Where do you spend most of your days? Are you usually here at Sandpoint Park? Okay. Wow. Okay. Well, I really appreciate you taking a few minutes to let us get to know who you are. You're a human being and you deserve people's respect, and I hope that you feel that I've shown you kindness and respect today.
Oh, yeah, you did.
And, all right. Well, good stuff, man. Well, thanks for doing the interview, and thanks for letting others know what it's like living here on the streets in Titusville.
Yes, thank you.
All right, guys. Thanks for watching. See you next time.